There was a time, a golden age of Minecraft modding, an era where dreams came true, and also an era where we all tried to make the Aether Portal in vanilla and were absolutely crushed when it didn't work. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane and revisiting some of the most legendary, but sadly forgotten Minecraft mods of the past. So buckle up, because this is going to be one nostalgic ride. The Aether Mod, aka the reason half of us thought that we could build a glowstone portal, throw a bucket of water in it, and ascend to heaven. Spoiler alert, it didn't work, and yes, we all tried it. But when you did get the mod installed, oh man, it was like stepping into another game entirely. You had floating islands, new dungeons, the weirdest mobs ever, and that absolute fear of falling into the void because there was no coming back from that. Let's talk about why this mod was so legendary. First, the world generation was insane for its time. This was before Mojang even thought about improving terrain, and here we were flying around massive floating islands like it was Skyblock on steroids. Then we had the dungeons, actual real dungeons that made vanilla strongholds look like a joke. These things had bosses, puzzles, and actual loot worth fighting for. Unlike, you know, finding a stronghold chest and getting a single apple. And let's not forget the mobs. Some of them were friendly, like the flying mowers, which you could ride like a feathery chocobo, but then you had the Zephyrs. These floating cloud demons exist purely to ruin your day. There were also whirlwinds, which were like mini tornadoes that sucked you up and spat you out. Honestly, the Aether had more things trying to throw you off the map than it had safe places to stand. Now let's talk about the history. The Aether Mod was created back in 2011 by a group of absolute Minecraft modding legends, including King B-Dogs, Kodaichi Zero, and Shocker. It was meant to be the direct opposite of the Nether, a bright, colourful, and way more dangerous place than it looked. Now this mod blew up and it was everywhere. YouTubers were making series on it, Modpack started including it, and for a while, it was basically the unofficial Minecraft Heaven update. But here's where things got crazy. Mojang actually noticed this mod and they straight up hired King B-Dogs, who was the lead dev. Yup, the Aether was so good that it got its creator an actual job at Mojang, and now, he's working on actual Minecraft updates. In fact, if you've noticed how recent updates are getting more complex structures and boss fights, anciencies, you can probably thank the Aether dev for that. So what happened to the Aether mod? Well, it's actually got an official sequel. Aether 2 came out, adding new features, structures, and even multiplayer support, but it never really reached the same level of fame as the original. The original Aether was like the perfect storm of nostalgia, creativity, and childhood wonder. The sequel? It was cool, but it didn't hit the same. Plus, with Mojang adding more dimensions like the End revamp, the Aether kinda faded into history. At the end of the day, the Aether mod wasn't just another Minecraft mod, it was a legend. It set the bar for what a total game-changing mod could be, and even if that's not as popular today, it'll always have a place in our hearts.
Hello everybody, I'm in the...
Okay, so who remembers Tale of the Kingdoms? If you do, congratulations, you were part of the Minecraft RPG fever dream era. This mod was basically Minecraft meets medieval strategy game, and it was the closest thing we had to being royalty before Mojang added actual villages that didn't suck. But this mod? Oh, it went way beyond that. It let you build your own kingdom, complete with NPCs, an army, and the most broken economy ever. And let's be real, if you played this mod, you 100% spent way too much time farming gold just to flex on the villagers. For me, Tale of Kingdoms wasn't just another mod, but it was my childhood, and a huge part of that was Kingdom of the Saplings by InTheLittleWood. Watching Martin build up his kingdom while narrating it like an actual fantasy story, absolute peak childhood content. Meanwhile, I was over here trying to play along and failing miserably. But honestly, this mod made you feel like an actual ruler. You weren't just some guy in a dirt house anymore, you were a king. You had NPCs who actually worked for you, you had armies, and you had a kingdom to protect. So here's how it worked. You'd start off in this huge guild hall, a place so unnecessarily massive that even modern Mojang structures look tiny by comparison. And your goal is to prove yourself as a true leader, defend villages from bandits, and eventually get enough gold to start your own kingdom. After completing enough quests, you finally got to choose a kingdom location and start building, and let me tell you, there was nothing more satisfying than watching that giant medieval city rise from nothing, while you stood there feeling like a king. The NPC system in this mod was kinda insane for its time. You had farmers, guards, and even builders who would expand your kingdom for you. The only problem? The economy was absolutely busted. Basically, once you figured out how to farm gold, the game stopped being a challenge and became, how fast can I literally buy everything? And let's not forget, some of the NPCs in this mod weren't the brightest. And then there were the bandits. These guys spawned constantly. I swear you could turn your back for 1 second and suddenly your entire kingdom was on fire. These guys were like medieval creepers, showing up out of nowhere, ruining your progress, and making you want to uninstall the game. But hey, at least you got gold for defeating them, which of course just makes the economy even more broken. So what happened to this legendary mod? Well, it kinda just disappeared. At the end of the day, Taylor Kingdoms wasn't just a mod, it was a whole experience. It made us feel like rulers, warriors, and terrible economists all of the time. And even though it's been forgotten by many, for those of us that played it, it'll always be one of the greatest Minecraft mods of all time. Oh yeah, the Clay Soldiers mod, aka Minecraft meets what if we let a bunch of tiny dudes fight to their death for our amusement? Because, let's be real, nobody played this mod peacefully. We all went full ancient Roman emperor and hosted the most brutal tiny wars imaginable. Alright, for the uninitiated, here's how it worked. You'd craft these tiny little clay dudes, drop them into the world, and, well, they don't really do anything at first, but the moment you gave them items, it was game on. These guys could use actual weapons. Give them a stick, boom, tiny swords. Give them flint, now they have sharp tiny swords. Give them a piece of leather, congrats. Now they have armor and look like medieval badasses. And it didn't stop there. You could give them slime balls to make them sticky, which I still don't understand, but sure. Fire charges to make them light other soldiers on fire. And my personal favorite, glowstone dust, because who doesn't love tiny warriors who come back from the dead? Now let's be real, nobody just made one clay soldier. No, you made armies. You built massive arenas, you pitted different colours against each other just to see who would win. Red versus blue, classic. And the best part, you could customise everything. If you wanted a full-blown medieval war, you gave them horses. If you wanted an insane free-for-all, you gave everyone explosives and just watched the world burn. But here's what made the Clay Soldiers mod so special. These little guys actually had personality. They weren't just mindless mobs, they had behaviours, alliances and grudges. If you gave them a book, they'd actually form a government. A government in Minecraft. I swear some of these little guys had a more organised society than we did. So what happened to the Clay Soldiers mod? Well, like many of the greats, it kinda faded away. It had updates for a while, but eventually it stopped getting the attention it deserved. But even if it's gone, the Clay Soldiers mod will always be one of the greatest things to ever happen to Minecraft. It wasn't about mining or crafting, it was about watching tiny dudes beat the absolute clay out of each other for our entertainment. And that, my friends, was a trip down memory lane with some of the greatest old school Minecraft mods. But now, I want to hear from you. Did you play any of these mods back in the day? And which one do you think deserves a comeback? Also, leave any ideas for any other mods you'd like me to go over in any future videos. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button harder than a clay soldier hopped upon sugar, and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future deep dives into Minecraft history.